What to do when complacency has set in your relationship, whether you're just starting to notice, maybe you're kind of getting into the roommate vibes, or you've been in roommate situation for decades and like it's just more friendship than it is romantic or partnership. I've got some tips for you. So typically what's happening when you get into the roommate phase is that you have stopped learning about your partner. You kind of get into your routine or your rut, as my mom would call it. And she always said, she'd been married for almost 50 years. She said, anytime we got in our ruts, we had to bring our ruts back together. And that meant that you're doing things, learning new things about your partner, learning things about yourself, having new experiences. The newness is how you get yourself out of the roommate situation. So I'm going to give you, I think, 6 or 7 ideas on how you can do that with a variety of budgets. First, go back to when you were dating. What were the things that you did, the time that you took for each other to date, and see if you could recreate that now. There was a lot of learning going on in those first year or two of dating and getting to know each other. And so that kind of kept the intimacy there. You're learning something new. You're learning about your partner. You can put yourself in new situations. If you keep going to the same place on date night, that's just reinforcing the pattern and the kind of snooze fest of being roommates. So try new places, put yourself in new experiences. Escape rooms are really great for putting yourself in kind of a new situation to have to work together. Go out with new couples, try new restaurants, try new experiences. Anything that's new is going to be beneficial. You could even join a, pickleball league together or something where you're doing something new together. The second thing that you can try, Dr. John Gottman's expert on relationships and marriages. He has a book called The 7 Principles for Making Marriage Work. And inside there, one of the strategies is learning each other's love maps. So it is a ton of questions to ask your partner to learn about them. Everything from, childhood friendships, relationships, just getting them a chance to open up for you to share so that you guys can learn something new. Getting into the new will help you get out of that familiar roommate phase. In a similar theme with that, here on TikTok, there are something called Life Sutra couples game. And it is just a bunch of questions. You pick a card on a date night, ask each other the questions on there. And it's a really great way to stimulate conversation around something new so that it's not the same, all right, well, Timmy did this today. And well, how was your day? And we have struggles at work and that kind of nuance. While it's great to have familiarity and comfort in a relationship, that's what ends up getting into the roommate situation because there's no newness. Another thing would be an app called Paired, Paired. That's a great one for you to both have the app and it'll ask you questions and it'll ask your partner questions because you're going to sync your apps and you'll be able to take quizzes together, quizzes about each other. So it's a great way to just have connection throughout the day and then come together at the end of the night to talk about, oh my God, I scored higher than you on this. It just kind of makes it fun. But it's a really great way to have in-depth conversations that are written out rather than verbal that you can then talk about later. And lastly are the Adventure Challenge books. You can Google them. They have a variety of different ones you can do with your kids. You can do for couples date night. They have ones for in bed to make that a little bit more exciting. So those are the top 6 or 7 ways to get you and your partner out of the roommate situation by introducing something new. We are very much creatures of habit. We are routine-based. We very much have the same things that we wake up on the same side of the bed. We usually have our same morning routine. We have our same commute to work. We don't have a whole lot of new stimuli coming to our brain. So we have the same thoughts, the same feelings, the same experiences on most every day. And how we can start to get out of that and shift out of that routine and that consistency to give us something new and exciting and stimulating to our brain is trying these new things and learning new things about your partner. And if you feel like you know your partner inside and out, then that's probably where the complacency is coming in. And we need to be intentional about creating the connection and intimacy with our partner. And these are just some great ways to do it. If you have any other ideas, love to hear them in the comments so that we can kind of crowdsource how to get out of the roommate or complacency in a relationship.